we talked about future a little bit, but why don't you share with us a little bit your perspective on what are some of the new emerging technologies that this audience might be interested in?
Sure, yeah, there's a lot going on in the marketplace in the next couple of years. In fact, I'm sure some of our listeners are understand and are familiar with technologies like the Open Compute Platform, right? That a lot of the large CSPs really went into consortium a while back, trying to create more of a modular data center that was standardized across form factors. We're really going big with this moving into the future with something called DCMHS, a brand new modular form factor to make it easier and more composable for customers to break apart and disaggregate components, which kind of leads me into that conversation of, hey, look, that's what you guys have been doing for a very long time, of composability in the data center, and open compute plays into that, right? Like we think about this context, obviously, different transport layers. You guys have been doing this a long time. I've had a lot of interest from enterprise customers around CXL, and,
right.
and obviously the movement slowly to PCIe Gen 5 and other technologies. But maybe you could share a little bit of your thoughts there, Sumit.
No, I think that's great. And so there's a couple of areas that we think are going to be critically important. So first, this concept of resource utilization and improving the economics of deploying AI. AI is a very expensive proposition, and so there have to be ways to change the TCO argument around deploying AI. And we think one of the best ways to do that is this concept of raising the utilization, right? And so if we can raise utilization, we can directly impact the cost side of it. That's one thing. Back to silicon diversity, I think, is another area that we can choose. H100 is a phenomenal GPU, but in certain areas, maybe L40S is a better answer for depending on what the customer is trying to do. You mentioned a multi-fabric environment is the way that we like to talk about it. PCIe Gen 4 will be followed by PCIe Gen 5, and then we have new emerging technologies like CXL that will push this concept of disaggregation and composability to the forefront. And so we think it was an interesting idea to begin with, composability, but now we think it's finally headed into the mainstream because technologies like CXL and the economics of things like GPU will demand it. So we're very excited about where Liqid and Dell are positioned as we can build these new compelling solutions for our joint end customers.